Taiwan is preparing for a military onslaught from the Chinese. It is also drawing the world's attention to Chinese military aggression, which brings us to the question, will the world stand by and watch if China attacks Taiwan? What will India do? Can Delhi start by recognizing Taiwan as a country? Why should India care so much about the One China policy if Beijing does not respect India's sovereignty? If there was ever a time to join hands with Taipei, it is now. India has a partnership. That partnership should be formalized, and this would go beyond military interests. A partnership with Taiwan will help in India's decoupling with China. Today, the foreign minister of Taiwan told WION that Taiwanese investors who leave China see India as an attractive destination and their government will help them set up a base in India. He spoke about China's military threat to the region, the violence that Chinese diplomats indulged in Fiji. He said Taiwan is willing to testify against China over the cover-up in Wuhan, and he shared his favorite Bollywood films with us. Here's an excerpt from that exclusive conversation. Dr. Wu, welcome to WION.
Well, thank you very much, Palki.
A new report says that China is building up its military presence to invade Taiwan. What is your assessment?
It is true that the Chinese are building up their military targeting at Taiwan. Not only they try to build up their missile capabilities, but they also try to build up their conventional capabilities. And I think the target is Taiwan. It's no doubt about it. They're also trying to intensify their military activities around Taiwan. In the last couple of months, we saw the Chinese military activities, especially the activities in the air, have been increasing tremendously. They not only try to intrude into our air identification zone, they also try to cut through the medium line of the Taiwan Strait, which has been safeguarding peace and stability and status quo for decades. So this is very alarming. I think what is even more alarming is that the Chinese government does not hide its intention that they may want to use force against Taiwan. So we have been trying to beef up our own defense capabilities to prevent China from thinking that they can take Taiwan over very quickly. And we also try to procure military hardware from other countries like the United States. And we also try to work together with other countries for security areas. So this is the way we try to strengthen our own status to prevent China from launching attacks against Taiwan. But I think the most important thing is that if you look at the situation around China, the Chinese military is also intruding into the disputed area in East China Sea. They also try to build up their military installations in the South China Sea. And there was also border conflict with India, where the Chinese have been increasing their military deployment. And this is very alarming that China seems to be expanding its force of authoritarianism. And if you look at inside China, they also put a hard hand, a very heavy hand, in Xinjiang, in Tibet, and now in Mongolia. They are trying to prevent the Mongolians, especially the young students, from learning their own language. So this is very alarming. And if you add Hong Kong into this equation, we see that China is trying to export its authoritarian order. And Taiwan happens to be on the front line, and we have to be very careful. There's a traditional wisdom about authoritarianism. Whenever they have domestic difficulty, they would try to find a scapegoat outside their country to create crisis, to divert domestic attention. And Taiwan may be a very convenient scapegoat for the Chinese government, and we need to be careful, and we need to build more friendship with other countries. And India is a country that we want to be friends with.
What is the domestic difficulty that Xi Jinping is facing, according to you?
There are quite a few difficulties China is facing right now. The first, of course, the trade war in between the United States and China, and I think it's causing the Chinese economy to slow down. And the second is the pandemic. It's the origin of, China is the origin of the COVID-19. And I think COVID-19 is causing economic slowdown internationally. And of course, China relied on trade with other countries, and it's causing China economic slowdown as well. And in the last couple of months, there was a very serious flooding in central part and moving to northern part of China. So the general economic slowdown for an authoritarian country is going to deprive the top leadership from the legitimacy that the government is able to improve the livelihood of the people. So this has become a very serious situation for the leadership. And we have also seen indications that there's leadership problems inside China. This doesn't seem to me that the leadership is able to control everything. There are other factions or other leaders that may be willing to challenge the top leadership. So putting all this together, China is facing some difficulties.
Do you think there are countries that will stand up for Taiwan and actively participate and support you? And which will those countries be, according to you?
This is our position. Taiwan is our country, and Taiwan government and Taiwan military has the sole responsibility of defending our own country. And we have said it again and again, that the government, the people are determined to defend themselves. And that is the reason why we spend more in our military. We try to buy more weapons for our own protection, and we try to train our military according to modern principles. So this is the way we try to show to the international community that Taiwan is absolutely determined to protect itself. And of course, if we are not able to protect ourselves, or if we are not determined to protect ourselves, we have no right to ask other countries to provide support to Taiwan when it comes to the absolute necessary point. But I do see that the United States has been making its presence known in this region. They have shown to other countries in this part of the world that their Navy or even their Air Force is here to deter the aggression. But I need to point to the fact that Taiwan is responsible for its own defense, and we are absolutely determined to defend ourselves. And it's not just defending ourselves in military terms. I should also say that Taiwan is a democracy and proud to be a democracy. And what we see is that the Chinese authoritarianism is trying to make an outward expansion. And under these kinds of circumstances, Taiwan is on the front line. And we protect ourselves, not just to protect our own sovereignty and protect our own territory. We are also trying to protect freedom and democracy. And we believe that we have that responsibility to safeguard democracy and freedom from being overrun by authoritarianism.
Can China be held accountable in a court of law for such a pandemic cover-up? And if yes, will Taiwan testify against Beijing?
Well, Taiwan is not one of those countries that is affected very seriously. And if the international community wants to look at the origin of the problem and they want to do a more thorough investigation, that is something that would be very helpful in preventing the next pandemic from taking place. And if there's a need for Taiwan experts to testify or to join in this investigation, I think Taiwan will be very happy to do it. And when you mention about the countries that are being affected very seriously, look at Europe, look at the United States, Brazil, and look at India. These are all the countries that are being very affected very seriously. And of course, we certainly hope that the pandemic can subside very soon so that the economic activities or people's livelihood can resume in a normal way. But before that, I think we need to think of one very serious question. That is how we should prevent the next pandemic from taking place.
The people of India see Taiwan as a friend, and you would be aware that Taiwan National Day was the #1 trend in India just a few days back. How do you describe your relationship with India, and what are your expectations from New Delhi?
Taiwan and India have relations getting better and better. And there is a fever here in Taiwan, craving for India. These couple of years, for example, the Indian movies, the Bollywood movies here in Taiwan are very popular. And I'm very glad to hear that Taiwan is becoming more popular in India as well. And I certainly hope that because of the interpersonal relations or people-to-people relations, that people are fond of each other, that can become a very good foundation for the two governments to build closer relationship with. The Chinese economic environment has been going downward in the last couple of years because of the trade war or other reasons. And many of the Taiwanese investors in China, they're thinking about moving out of China. And India happens to be a big country with a good population. And we certainly hope that some of the Taiwanese businessmen who are interested in making investment in places other than Taiwan, India can be a very attractive destination. So an FTA between Taiwan and India that can certainly improve the prospect for better trade and economic relations between Taiwan and India.
Do you also watch Bollywood films? And which are the films that are popular in Taiwan?
Oh, there's so many of them. To me, personally, is Bahubali. I don't know whether other Taiwanese friends have seen this, but it's being reruns on our television. Every time I see that Bahubali movie, I told my wife not to turn the channel because I want to finish watching it again. And now I don't know how many times I've been watching it. It's just so fun to watch Indian movie. And this is another movie, a father who used to be a wrestler and trained his two daughters to be wrestler champions. Yes, and that is also very popular here in Taiwan. And there's another movie, Hindi Medium, and that is very popular here in Taiwan as well. There's countless of Indian movies that have been shown here in Taiwan. And for your information, we are thinking about having an Indian film festival in Taiwan right now.
That's very good to know. And I have to say your taste in films is very good. You've picked some of the best in Hindi cinema. Thank you very much, Dr. Wu, for your time. Your country has earned a lot of goodwill for itself. And we wish you all the best, and to the people of Taiwan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching Gravitas on WION's YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date with what's happening around the world, then subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much for watching WION. World is One.